What's going on? It's Syntell with the Intel, and we are on the season finale of Love, Death, and Robots, episode 9. I think this one is called Jibaro. It's been really good. I think this season is better than the second season so far, and let's just see if they really stick the landing with episode 9. Hey, if you need to catch up, there should be a link in the descriptions for 1 through 8, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscription button and give us a thumbs up. That being said, let's get started.
Syntell Reacts.
Thanks, Netflix. Jibaro, this one is done by Alberto Mielgo. I probably have butchered that name. Let me see. I've heard of Alberto Mielgo. They were... Okay. Well, let's see. They did some animation on bigger projects like Spider-Man and Tron. Let's see how they stacks up with this. Jibaro. Okay, we got some more almost photo surreal. I like some of the particle effects in that. Wow, they even like mess with the aperture a little bit, which is pretty cool. What time period of we in? Goodness. Can't remember the last time I've seen the Renaissance look so crisp and clear. Okay. Oh, they're deaf. So that's why they're making all that noise, huh? Probably. Or they, you know what? They just have no idea that they're making all that noise. They have to know that they're making all that noise. Whoa. Huh. This is interesting. Wow, look at the detail. Well done. What is going on? Oh, well, they can hear. Oh, wow. Like sirens, right? Oh, wow. That is super cool looking. Dragging into the lake to kill themselves, huh? This is crazy. Yo, he had no idea. Wow. I mean, like, I can't even begin to imagine how difficult it must have been to animate all that jewelry flinging about. Look at this. Wow. Look at this. Yup. Drown. All that. All that armor. Oh. Wow. It almost looks like a heart. And you see the blood in the water. That is super, super dope. She almost lost her voice. No animals were harmed in the filming of this project. Look at this. I'm blown away. Oh my God. Closed out. Oh, poor thing. Like just like this weird like shutter speed kind of thing that's kind of going along with it as well. Like I wonder if some of that is actual like practical, like real water that's just been that's had CG on top of it. 'Cause some of this is just crazy incredible. That is so just strange and cool. Just she's like damn near claimed you. My brain is like all the way blown by just how crazy some of this is. And I mean that as a compliment. You gonna go for it? Dude, you got alright, she's trying her damnedest to kill you. Look at this. The sensualness of it all is just crazy too. Is she bleeding? Oh. Is he looting her body? Wow. So there is... I don't even know what to do with that. So that's where it started, huh? So those horses are... Huh. There's that heart-shaped lake again. I love the music too. Like the score that's behind it. Come to blood. Oh, she can hear. He can hear now. Oh wow. Right? I can't imagine the freaking out he must be doing. Huh. He can hear his own voice for the first time. Oh, look at the dance that goes along with this. This is nuts. Look at this. He almost walked. He's like he's not falling in the water. That's what. Well, now he is. But at first, he looked like he was almost like walking on the water, like she was. Yo, there is so much to unpack with this. Look at all of the bodies. Wow. Wow. I mean, they saved the best for last in every possible way. Be it with story, be it with sound design, be it with the animation. I mean, it's all just chef's kiss. Okay, so let's where do we even begin with? So all right, so we have what looks like, I don't know, maybe they're like Spanish conquistadors or something like that, maybe. Based off of like looking at some of like the helmets and stuff. They may or may not be that. I'm not sure. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're looking for the Fountain of Youth. I don't know. Maybe they're in South America looking for gold. Maybe that is like the spirit of the forest. I think the term is siren regarding people that are on ships that would hear the call of the sirens, and then they would crash their ships on the banks of the shore because they were so enthralled with the sound of it. I think mermaids as well were notorious to people in the ocean with their beauty, and they would be just so beautiful that the sailors would like jump in, and then the mermaids would drown them. That's what this kind of gives me, like that type of that kind of vibe. And it starts off with just the obnoxious sound of just these, I guess they're conquistadors or these soldiers that are like walking through the forest. Everything about them stands out. There is nothing that is connected to the nature, right? That's connected to nature. They're loud. They've got all of this gaudy gear on. It's just gold all over the place, right? And they see like a water nymph. I guess that's another way that we can kind of describe her as well. You know, mermaid, water nymph, siren. And she calls them into the water, and they have so much armor that they end up drowning. But not only that, she drives them mad. We saw like a hint of this in the previous episode with what could have been like a mind flayer or Cthulhu, where they speak to you in a sense that possesses you and causes you to either harm yourself or harm other people, right? And we see that. But our main character, who is deaf, right? He's absolutely oblivious. He's at the lake chilling while everybody else is walking around, and he sees a fleck of gold, and he picks it up, and it like cuts him. He sees it, and he's just interested as to where this is coming from. I would imagine that this is probably what the party's looking for, gold, right? And he gets interrupted while everybody else, all of the knights and the priests of that time, they're all like falling into the water, murdering each other like nonstop, just trying to get to her. I don't know if they're just murdering in the spirit of blood or murdering each other because they want to be the first to get to her. And then as a result of them being in the deep waters, they end up like drowning. All right, so all of that is just dope. The visuals are just absolutely astounding. And here's my thing. I'm going to kind of like jump off of the story for a second and kind of like give props to just how this thing is animated. Like some of the animation is so mind blowing. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if this is a blend of real practical sets and water design, and they are putting CG on top of it, or if this is all CG. Now, it's not completely flawless. Let me not say that. It's not completely flawless because there are moments where they do like this weird thing with maybe like the shutter speed. Because and sometimes some of the individual characters will stand out a little bit, especially if that is like a real background that they're on top of, and it can kind of stand out. But it's noticeable enough to make me think that it might have been like an artistic choice, right? I just can't connect the dots as to what that artistic choice may be, as to why it seems a little choppy at times. I'm willing to bet that was like an artistic choice, right? But what we see is when we get a really good close look up at this lake nymph is that she is covered in jewels, right? Absolutely covered in jewels. Now, I was just saying that there's something about like the oneness of the woods, right? Of just nature in general, and these conquistadors or whoever it is that they're coming in, like they stick out like sore thumbs. Well, if she is, maybe like a spirit of the lake or the woods, she sticks out as well because she's covered in gold. She's adorned in just jewelry all over the place. And I think that may be the thing that she's screaming, that's scrambling these people's minds into maybe coming to see her because of her beauty, coming to see her because she is adorned in jewelry, or coming to see her because of the way that she's dancing. Whatever it is, it's just they got to have her, right? And they'll do anything. They'll kill each other to get to her. They'll drown themselves in order to get to her. And there's kind of like a underlying story underneath that regarding the things that we will do for greed, right? We will kill ourselves for it. And she's kind of like embodying that, right? But to go back to the animation, like she has so much jewelry on, and there's so many individual beads and necklaces and stuff that if this is like CG, like that is a lot to keep up with. I mean, there's probably like no less than like 30, 40, 50, necklaces on her, plus all the light glinting off of it, and then add on top of that, like she's interacting with the water, and you see the splashing effects, and then you see like all of these particle effects on top of it as well. I'll probably have to do a little bit of digging to figure out like what exactly they did in order to recreate this. How much of this is done inside of a computer, and then how much is shared with real, real things like real life, real water effects and stuff. Either way, if it is shared, I'm impressed. If it really is all CG, I'm impressed beyond measure. I'm like over the moon impressed with what can be done with CG now. But to get back to the story, all right. So like our guy, I'm assuming is Jibaro, since that is the name of the of this last episode. I'm assuming that. Hold on, let me get back to this. I'm sorry, my thoughts were all over the place. All right, yeah. All right, so let's get back to Jibaro. So he's deaf and he's not affected, and she is like trying her best to try to get him to trigger him to come out there to come to her so that he can drown her. But it's not working, and she ends up getting close to him, and he touches her, and he realizes that to actually touch and achieve this goal of getting her, getting the gold, getting the beautiful woman, getting all of that, it cuts you, it hurts you, right? But something really fascinating happens, and that is she kind of has like this weird connection with him, right? It's weird to even explain. She has like this weird connection with him, and maybe it's just more curiosity. There's also like maybe there's like a purity about this soldier who can't hear that she may spare, at least have a moment of thinking about it, but then she goes back to finding new and creative ways to try to like drown him, right? So she like goes up to the top of this waterfall, they meet, and then this is where the interaction gets really, really dope. They're kissing and embracing. Like he's not entranced to her because of the song and anything else, the things that got everybody else. Maybe what he's feeling towards her is real, right? In that moment. And he's kissing her and everything, but it's violent, right? It's like this weird interaction. It's really disturbing. But then we see something that's even more troubling and even more disturbing. And that is that he knocks her out. So maybe everything that we just saw and experienced was a facade. Maybe it wasn't real. Maybe her curiosity in him, it kind of like the script kind of flipped, and her curiosity in him ended up putting her in a bad situation, and he commits to strip her of all of her jewelry. The gold, I guess maybe it's a symbolism for the greed and how it'll jack you up if you actually put your hands on it. It is cutting her, and she's bleeding as well as him, and he strips all of it, puts it in a bag, and he's about to take off, knocks himself out. She wakes up, gets her mojo back or whatever, or heals, becomes one with the river. And then, sets out for her revenge, at least what seems like her revenge. But before that, there's also another like really dope moment before they share that moment in the waterfall. And this is what leads me to believe that she does legitimately care for him. And that is that she lays next to him. Like he goes to sleep the night before, and she comes in, completely adorned and everything, and she lays next to him, wakes up next to him and everything. Like she spent like the whole night, which was in a weird kind of beautiful kind of thing to kind of like understand. So I think he also may be using that as well as a way of to lure her, to strip her of all of her gear, and then what's that term? Hell hath no fury. Like like a nymph scorned. So she tracks him down and is reborn again through the blood. But here's the part that's also like really fascinating and interesting too, because she realizes that who she's fallen in love with, what she's lost all of her gear. It almost feels like almost like Little Mermaid-ish, right? She realizes that she can't be with him. She's mourning the loss of all of her gear, and then she sends out her call. But what's dope, and that is that he puts his face into the river when it's like boiling red with blood, be it maybe the blood of love and just high. What is it? Oh my gosh, what the word I'm looking for? When you're just like infatuated with somebody, and it's like that lust, that boiling lust kind of thing. And then there's also like the boiling danger of death, right? And whatever it is, whatever it represents, he sticks his head in it, and then a gift is given to him. Maybe if you conquer this nymph or whatever the rules of the lake are, it cleanses you or it heals you. You know, I said earlier regarding like the Spanish looking for the fountain of youth, right? Maybe the fountain of youth is in this lake or whatever it is, and you dip your head in it once the nymph has been vanquished. You know, your gift is you're healed, right? And he gets his hearing back as a result of it. He panics because he's never heard sound before. He's never heard his own voice. And I can't even imagine what that must be like, especially at that time in day and age, you know, and you just all of a sudden get your hearing back. That's got to be, it reminds me of that scene in one of the Superman movies when Clark is really young and he gets his powers for the first time and he's at school and he's like hiding in the closet because he can't deal with it, right? It feels like that kind of moment. And it takes his mom, well, Superman, the Superman reference takes his mom to kind of like calm Clark down so that he can kind of like get used to it. So I feel like he's kind of like going through that, right? He's like spazzing out because he can finally hear. And the nymph, the water nymph or whatever her name is, the dancer is calling him. So she's like, you know, you're not going to sit there and just take everything from me. You're going to get the same fate that everybody else has had. And she's screaming. But here's the thing that's interesting to me is that he doesn't come immediately. He kind of fights it, which leads me, maybe it's a couple of things. One is that because he's just now learning how to hear for the first time, whatever it is doesn't connect in the same way as everybody else who's had their hearing forever, and it just immediately like starts the brainwashing and brings you into the water. Unlike his other counterparts who were just mindlessly like swinging their swords and doing whatever it takes to get to her, something interesting happens with him, and that is that he starts like dancing on the water as if like maybe he drank some of the water and embodied some of her in some weird sense, because I could have swore there was a moment where it looked like he was walking on the water, like she walks on the water, right? And then it kind of like all goes away, right? Maybe it's that bit of mourning that the water dancer has all gone away and it's just full blown vengeance. Maybe she might have been actually like been pulling him as if to say, don't go, right? You know, like, I love you. You've stripped everything from me, but maybe just come to me one last time. And then maybe she like snaps out of it. And then when that happens is when he starts sinking and the beauty of the dance is gone and all of that. And then he ends up becoming a body like all of the rest. And who knows how many people have been at the bottom of this lake. You know, it looked like a whole lot. It filled up the whole frame, just tons of bodies. It could be potentially like hundreds. But what you are seeing is that all of those bodies have like, some of them, have residual glimmer on it, like bits of the gold that was being used in the beginning of the short, when they're like all the horses are adorned with all of this gold and making all of this loud unnatural sounds. Like some of that is still at the bottom of the lake, and you see in that moment that maybe the dancer used that gold to adorn herself, the jewelry from all of her old victims, maybe back when she was just a natural, you know, spirit of the water or whatever it is. You know, it was just the spirit of her song and how she danced and how she looked. But then, you know, as progress continued and the more bodies that she's put in the bottom of this lake, you know, she's actually using the things that they love and the things that they adorn themselves in order to lead men to their deaths. Just really good, really poignant, just sad and tragic, because for a hot moment, especially like when he wakes up next to her the night after and she's laying next to him, it looks like there could be a moment of understanding. You know, maybe she could bring him into his world or vice versa or something. You'd think that there could possibly be some good that comes out of this. But in the end, that's just not how it happens. You know, there's also an interesting shot when they pull away from the lake and it looks like a heart, right? You know, and then during certain parts of it, there's like a small splotch of blood, like when the nymph is dying. There's a larger spot of blood when she's killing all of the knights, and then there's even a full blown huge thing of red that's boiling over in the lake when I guess the spirit of the lake is mourning her death or whatever it is, or maybe her reinvigoration or I don't know. The word that I'm looking for to describe it, her resurrection. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. So watching that and watching the heart-shaped heart and seeing the effect that it has on everything else, it's just a great clash. It's a great clash on how people accept nature, how people except greed, love, maybe possible forgiveness, maybe saying something about culture in general, about the things that we pray to and the things that we will lose our minds over. It's a lot. I'm sure you could probably write a whole paper on it. You know, I'm coming off the top with this as I'm spitballing, but let's just give a absolute, round of applause just for the art in itself, because it was beautiful. It was well done. It was very interesting. It was jarring. There's moments in there that had like, some real like horror-ish kind of elements that went along with it. And just the way that they went about with the animation, the color that they used, the human moments, because there are moments where the dancer in the lake, she looks like a monster. Like she has like these serrated teeth and everything. And she's wearing like some face paint in a way that could be used to like intimidate. But there's also like this really deep beauty about her, from the way that she looks, from the way that she sounds, and from the way that she moves. It's tragically done. Well done. Overall, let me just say, Love, Death, and Robots did not disappoint. This is probably one of the better seasons that I've seen since the first one. It doesn't have as many episodes. I know that was a bit of a complaint from the last season, because the first season, I think, had like 20 episodes or something like that. It was some really large number. This season only had 9, but the quality to me seemed to have picked up. It didn't really have any bad episodes. It was definitely bloody. This season had a lot of blood, but the storytelling was just so good. I know I said I'm not going to say this, but it would be cool to see like some of these stories get a larger format, maybe as a movie, maybe as maybe a couple more shorts extended, so you can get some more backstory and maybe better closing regarding some of this. But that's just a testament to just how beloved Love, Death, and Robots is as a franchise. I guess that's the word I'm trying to say regarding this. It's good. It's real good. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out. If you're just now watching this and want to catch up to the previous episodes, there's a link in the description so that you can see episodes 1 through 8. And of course, you haven't subscribed and you've just been enjoying the conversation, hit the subscribe button. And of course, give me that thumbs up, because that's how the algorithm knows you're digging what I'm giving you. Hey, it's Syntell with the Intel. This has been an absolute slice. I'm gonna catch you on the next project. All right, peace out.